to the vibrant world of the brand new So Ionic Botanicals website. Are you ready to take your health to the next level with us? If so, let's dive in and explore our exciting new website together. First, let me introduce you to our premier product, Nessuit Nectar Stingless Bee Honey. With raving reviews and testimonials, which you can watch right here, Nessuit Nectar is a must-try item in our collection. Next, unlock the ancient wisdom of nature with our sacred herbs, a unique collection of rare, powerful herbs sourced from the heart of Honduras and Mexico and designed to elevate your wellness journey. Scroll down to the bottom of this page to find our social media links. Make sure to follow us on all platforms to stay updated on our latest products and special offers. Now, let's head over to the product page. Click on products to unveil hidden treasures like beefy tea, a bitter crafted from over 10 indigenous Honduran herbs. Once you've made your selections, hop over to the cart and finalize your purchase to bring the best of nature into your life. Don't forget to check out our media page. This is where you can subscribe to our Patreon and YouTube for exclusive content on various health topics. Curious about the brains behind So Ionic Botanicals? Head to the About page to meet our founder, KT the Arch Degree, and discover the passion driving our mission. Got questions or just want to say hello? Our contact page is just a click away. Reach out to us with any inquiries and we'll be more than happy to assist you. We are thrilled to have you here with us and we sincerely appreciate your support and business. Thank you for choosing So Ionic Botanicals and we look forward to helping you see the world more clearly.
All right. We are now live. What's up, family? Thank you for your patience. Red Blue might have fell asleep, man.
You feel me?
Blue might have fell asleep, something like that. But family, welcome to another episode. Black Magic 363. This is the day after Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody.
Yes.
Whether you celebrated Kwanzaa, for those who
Happy
celebrate
Kwanzaa, yeah, setting it off.
Yeah, Kwanzaa setting it off big time. I wonder how many of y'all celebrate Kwanzaa in the chat. I wonder if anybody said, Red, you ever celebrated Kwanzaa, Red?
I was a vendor at a few Kwanzaa events over the years and whatnot. Okay. But have I gone through all of the day? I'm so conflicted with that whole Kwanzaa thing that it just didn't allow me to keep pushing.
No, I hear you though.
The controversy around the creator, that's always gotten in the way for me to really dive in. But I know people who they this is the time right now for them.
Indeed. Yes, it's a magical time of the year, Red. It's definitely a magical time, and regardless of what we into, I just definitely want us all to tap in to that. You know, there's a lot of talk, Red. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I actually this topic I was going to save for tomorrow. I got a show with Billy Carson tomorrow, but I just want to run it by you real quick. This because I know me and you did the quantum supremacy joint years ago. Now this quantum computer said it's getting info from parallel universes, Red. That's some shit, Red. The computer's getting info for parallel versions of itself or some shit like that, Red. Red, this shit is getting so wild right now, Red. And let me just say this because y'all see I get hyped real fast. So, by the way, I'm all over the place. You know my moon is in Aries, Red. I found that out like 2 weeks ago.
No,
you know you got your sun sign and your moon sign. My moon sign is Aries, bro. And I wear it. I didn't even realize it, but I wear it because of my pops. It got passed down to me to my pops.
Right. And it was there the whole time.
Yeah, crazy, right?
You was who you was before you got here.
Before you got here, exactly. But Red, like, I'm
kind of. The year was that quantum video. We did quantum.
2014
supremacy.
2014.
No. 17, I think.
So it was 17. Okay.
Quantum supremacy.
Hold on. Let me press mute. This is blue. Hold on.
Right. In that video that me and Rich did, what was 2017. It was one of those exclusive lectures that he had. We actually address quantum computers doubling as portal openers and also time machines. That's definitely something that we talked about with the D-Wave machine that's in Canada. So to see Google coming out right now and saying what they saying, it's a no-brainer. You feel me? What a way to end the year. What a way to wrap up this season. You know. But yeah, 2025.
Sending your link to your brother. You say you didn't get it. He's coming though.
2025, the year of quantum.
Red, now let me ask you, because you also big on crypto. Now, what impact is this gonna have on crypto? Is this gonna, is niggas gonna be able to hack Bitcoin, Satoshis, or something? I mean,
It's definitely going to create a situation, and I know that it's going to occur. A situation is going to occur where the price of Bitcoin and all of the crypto world is going to be challenged by the rise in the quantum computers and their ability to, solve problems that would take computers on this, even the supercomputers that exist right now, 10 septillion years, right? To compute, to be able to solve problems, is doing it in like 30 seconds. So in order to crack these encryption codes and whatnot, you're going to need passwords that have terabytes, not just terabytes, petabytes. You feel me? Like there's people right now with passcodes that are like 1 terabyte long to protect their IP, to make sure that they don't get hacked and things of that nature. It is definitely going to disrupt the market, not soon, but it will eventually happen.
Yeah, man. This, like I said, so much going on, and it's almost like every day is something new. You know what I'm saying, Red? It's like every day something new, because the CIA, we get all these declassified documents from the CIA about people in Mars and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo.
So let's just let's put it let's back up and look at it in a wider view. 2024 started out with 9 to 10 foot tall, slim, dark life forms. Let's just call it life forms in Miami, in the mall of all places.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
oh, shit.
Yeah. That's what the year started out with, right? That was the top of the year.
Wow.
Then somewhere in the middle of the year, we were given the live congressional hearings on quote unquote UFOs, UAPs, and all of that. There were disclosures that were made in those hearings, right? I believe even Stephen Greer or somebody was at one of those hearings. Then they broke a story about there being life forms in the ocean. Okay, Harvard scientists, they did a study and whatnot, and they said that there's life in the oceans, or what they would call extraterrestrial. Then we get introduced to this thing with the orbs, where everybody gets put on game, right? Programming was lasting for about a week, and then coincidentally, nobody's talking about it right now. You know what I mean? It's basically on to the next story. My nigga Travis Hunter is outside. You feel me? So that's what they're talking about. So all of these things that we see taking place that is talking about quote unquote first contact, or it's giving the population or the populace the quote unquote the idea that there is life forms that exist other than what they would call humans and mankind. First, they have to introduce you to the concept by implying it subtly. So the subtleties of the whole thing is there is life forms in the airspace, but we don't identify, we don't know who it is. It's not our government. It's not the quote unquote the other governments that we may have beef with, because if they were in our airspace for about 2 weeks, like in New Jersey and whatnot, we would eventually have to declare some type of quote unquote, it would have been a declaration of some type of war. So for the simple fact that they're letting you know in these hearings, and also they're letting you know just with all of these stories that are unverified and whatnot, that the possibility of them rolling out a different life form is right in front of you. There's so many things though that goes along with that, because we have to look at the variables. One, you could be introduced to something that is called Project Bluebeam, that is basically, you know, a version of augmented reality or virtual reality, the same way that they can have items popping out of buildings and whatnot for advertisements, right? They can now do this with technology. Two, you could be introduced to a new form of alien technology in the form of AI. Because anytime you talk about aliens, or anytime you talk about extraterrestrials, or anytime you talk about anything that's outside, it's dealing with something of a higher form of technology. Technology is always inside of that equation. So who's to say if the computer or the AI becomes sentient, that that's not extraterrestrial?
Yo, great point,
Because,
Red.
yeah, because the way that those drones were acting and the way that those drones were flying over Jersey, like that looked like AI has something to do with something dealing with that with AI. You know, but continue.
Blue, is there any way to turn down? It's like what is that, Red? Static, or what is that?
It sounds like sounds like you're on a highway.
Yeah, like you in the car or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like movement. Is there a fan blowing?
Right, is a fan on or something?
Yeah, that better.
Man, 1,000 better.
Yo, y'all know what's funny now? Blue just came in, so we talking about. I'm telling Red how fast shit is moving, and I can't even keep up. I just had the baby, so I'm like, I put my head down for a week. I put my head up. Niggas talking about Pope opening up portals, all types of shit. I'm like, what is going on? I put my head down for another second. I put my head up. Next thing I know, the Christians is parading, talking about they got a body with Billy Carson. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in the internet world? And the shit, it was so interesting. We're talking all this aliens. This is like very interesting. All the alien talk in the world going on, and the biggest person on the internet that talks about aliens, the most popular person on the internet that talks about aliens, gets into something with this Christian white boy, and the whole internet turns on Billy Carson and says and now they're like, Christianity, yeah, Christianity. I'm like, what the fuck? So the alien shit, none of that shit is valid. All the extraterrestrials, it's just the way it ended, and what's going on in the internet and what's going on in the news. It's wild, yo. This is some wild shit. Blue, what's your thoughts? You looking like motherfucking the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, Blue Pillar, the King of the thrice. You looking thrice great, nigga. Thrice great. What's going on? Pope Pablo in the building, man.
Yeah, the Pope came to put that work in.
What's up, man?
So I mean, what's the direct question? Because that was, you know, you said a lot, but I don't, you know.
There's none. It's one of them shows tonight. There's none. It's just I found it ironic. Let me say it like this, Blue.
Yeah.
The irony, and because we would have never thought the news would have been bombarded with alien talk the way it is now. The irony is that the news is bombarded with alien talk, and the main person, melanated person with the alien talk, gets in beef with a Christian, and all of a sudden he's like, everybody's like, nah, we ain't messing with you. We messing with the Christian. At the time, the alien talk is at its highest point ever. So I'm like, wow, this is kind of interesting how everything worked out.
It coincides with another story that we've seen where NASA discovered alternative dimensions, things going backwards. Right?
In Antarctica, thank you. Yeah,
in Antarctica. So it's showing you that there could be timeline shifts, and you can be like out of your time, right? You can literally, you know what I'm saying, be a meter and a metric off and totally miss your wave. Doing something that you have no business doing when you should be prepared to do the thing that you came here to actually do.
Oh, those gems, those bars.
And this is no disrespect to our good brother, because, you know, I'm Team Billy. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I mean that if the conversation is yo, we grouping up over here with these people because they represent the template and the prototype of what spirituality or religion means, then consider me on demon time, right? I ain't going.
You ain't fucking with that, huh?
I'm not going where they going or what they represent. Can't no Europeans lecture me about religiosity, spirituality. You feel me? And then our community has failed to make the necessary demarcation. They don't know what they're looking at. Those people represent Christendom. This is not the Christianity compassion that Janan and them is talking about. They're a militarized version of Christianity that represents the domination, not the dominion, but the domination that got your melanated ass in the position that you in right now.
Woo!
So, yeah, my thing is this: if he stood 10 toes down and said, "Look, I can show you an alien before you show me Jesus," then it's technical.
We might see an alien next year before Jesus, Blue.
Right.
My thing is this: you seeing them, and people is in denial as to what they're seeing, right? Because those particular craft, there's a multitude of things that are taking place that we're observing. We're observing drones that are chasing orbs, and orbs that are interdimensionally traversing anything that's chasing them. They're jumping in and out of dimensions. Right?
On some quantum shit.
On some quantum-ish. So,
So this.
Go ahead.
The same time that they make the announcement about Willow with Google, and they make the announcement that the quantum computers could now tap into multi-dimensions, parallel dimensions
in the multiverse.
Right? Then we start seeing orbs popping out and jumping out of dimensions in the multiverse.
Not only that, right? This is, the family, the conspiracy family's favorite go-to immediately. If something cosmic, intergalactic happens, they immediately go to CERN, right? Give them their credit. There was a major breakthrough at CERN recently, right? Where they said that they discovered what they call magic.
Right.
They discovered a substance that they can only refer to. They call it magic.
I didn't even hear about this. See?
Yeah.
What's this, Blue? Come on.
Just send me that article, bro.
Let's go to Google, right? We all got computers in front of us, and we can have fun tonight. Right? As we redeem the conversation around what is consciousness. Consciousness is not subscription spirituality, right? Where niggas can have the right to cancel when they choose to. You feel me? Because just like the rap battle, oh, my dude got washed, I'm going up over here. That's not what this is. Discovers magic.
Magic. Wow. You said they call it magic. Wow.
Yeah, top quirk. Scientists discovered magic at the Large Hadron Collider. Discoverer of magic in particle physics. A brotherly research duo, they're twins, has discovered that when the Large Hadron Collider produces top quarks, right? So now we're talking quarks, we're talking the muons, we're talking the same thing that me and Akibalon been talking about with the neutrinos and everything.
Neutrinos, right?
The heaviest known fundamental particles irregularly creates a property known as magic. This finding, published in Physical Review D, has implications for the progression of quantum computing, with magic being a measure that describes how difficult a quantum system is for a non-quantum computer to calculate, right? So throw the old computers out. They're no good anymore, and they're telling you at the end, they're closing business in the 8-year, build, destroy, to rebuild. We are rebuilding new dimensions that are templated in the 5th dimension, right? Because now they're in 5D with 5 portals opening. Not only in 5D with 5 portals opening, what's the other article that they dropped the other day? Let's go to it. And my apologies, brother, but because of the link that y'all sent me, I'm not able to get on with my tablet, so I'm on my phone. So my presentation is in front of me, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to log it in for the people to see, but I give these
to me?
bars. Scientists are pretty sure they found a portal to the fifth dimension. Yes. Okay. This article dropped December 23rd, 2024. Scientists are pretty sure they found a portal to the fifth dimension. Dark matter could be the result of fermions pushed into the warped fifth dimension. So fermions, that all of this is quirks and, you know what I mean? This is the same stuff, right? This is the same stuff. Scientists said it can explain dark matter by positing a particle that links a fifth dimension. While the warp extra dimension is a trademark of a popular physics model first introduced in 1999, this research published in the year. Our knowledge of the physical universe relies on the idea of dark matter, which takes up the vast majority of matter in this universe. Dark matter is a kind of pinch hitter that helps scientists explain how gravity works, because a lot of features will dissolve or fall apart without an X factor of dark matter. Even so, dark matter doesn't disrupt the particles we do see and feel, meaning it must have other special properties as well. So they're saying that dark matter can't possibly have matter in it because it's not disruptive, right? And, according to physics, they're saying two things can't simultaneously exist at the same time in the same place. But dark matter is defying that. Go back to the CERN article about magic. Doing spooky things at a distance that can't necessarily be explained with the rational mind. Because now we're in quantum. So things are not binary in quantum. Shout out to my brother Ross Ben, who told you this in 2020. We're no longer in a binary world. We're in a trinary world, right? Where things are not either or, they're both simultaneously, right?
Facts.
At the same damn time. You feel me? So that's where we at with that.
Yeah. Wow, man. That's damn. What do you think this means? Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Personally, when you hear things like this, does this change anything for you spiritually speaking? Does it cause you to move in a certain direction, give you a sense of urgency? Like, how do you respond personally when you hear? Is it something that we already knew, so it's like they just catching up? How do you personally respond to this information, Blue and Red?
This is what I've been speaking on and talking about, for forevermore. So it coincides and culminates in, all of the stuff that I've been hitting on from the top of the year. And it prepares us for Solar 25, right? Which is the Corona Rising. So every single thing that's taking place is working into, our narrative. And our narrative is that with the solar rising or the Corona rising of the Solar 25 cycle is that this is your time to tap in. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say who I'm speaking to on the other side of the screen, but yeah, if you feel that you have a inner urging to awaken something that's latent in you, this speaks to the super sapient aspect of you fully coming online and tapping in, right? And putting in the work that's necessary for you to go quantum, this is your time. You feel me? And there's nothing that can hold that back. If you so own it, right?
Right.
If you acknowledge it, if you own it, you know what I'm saying? And you make a space for it, what can possibly get in between you and that? It's accessible right now, right? Why not you? Why them? They like, look, they like, we, shit, we along for the ride, but we not in control. That's clearly what they're telling you.
Right.
But for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, people will still be in doubt because they're looking for leadership. And the leadership is faulty. Because these are interpersonal, you know what I'm saying? This is an interpersonal journey. Like the age of holding hands and walking people through it, it's done.
Yeah, we're not there right
because now. It's quantum, it's a portal. Two people can't go through a portal holding hands, my nigga. right? Going back to the CIA document, Stargate, who's seen the movie? Now we sitting here transfixed about something that they put on the internet the other day. My nigga, this report has been out since forever.
Mm-hmm.
They made a whole movie about it. Did you not see Stargate? They made a whole TV series about it. Did you not see Stargate?
Right.
Well, you know, we you know what I'm saying? I love how we're on the internet, so we experience things together. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful experiment. But yeah, man, we in quantum. We on the other side of things.
Indeed.
Yeah. So knowing that Dr. Delbert Blair is not physically here with us, but knowing that his teachings are alive and well, because many of the things that we are witnessing in the paranormal world is his teachings.
That's right.
Knowing that Elijah Muhammad's teachings is alive and well through his students, because his predictions are coming through on a daily basis. You feel me? Knowing that the teachings of Bobby, of Panic, many of the teachers are literally coming true. And like Blue Pill said, we on the internet, so we're doing things collectively versus how we might have done things before. Knowing that Dr. York's teachings, knowing that Dr. York's science is being repeated by mainstream media and these Europeans who, unfortunately, they have the stamp of approval, because if they repeat some shit that you said 40 years ago, nigga, you a legend. You know?
Yo. No, go ahead, Red. I'm sorry.
And his work is being edified by young geniuses like B. Dell.
Yes. Right.
Salute to the God.
Salute to the God.
Yo, do y'all think? I was talking.
That fellow's on his way. Yeah.
I was talking to Wesley the last time I was talking to him. What do y'all know about Zachariah Sitchin? You know, we talking about Anunnaki aliens.
Yeah.
All it's been all over. What do y'all think about him stealing Elijah's shit? Getting his game, getting his shit from Elijah.
Zachariah Sitchin is an absolute fraud. You know what I'm saying? I don't rock with him.
You don't fuck with him at all, Blue?
At all.
Damn, no, you sound like you got some. Nah, this personal.
Yeah.
That's
from the 90s, bro. I've had a gripe with him since the 90s. You know
what's going on?
Because he had a lot of people that I know transfixed in comic book world. You know what I'm saying? And they've grown up now to be like in comic book world. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's like the David Icke effect when David Icke spoke about reptilians. And the conversation was convoluted because it was coded. You know what I mean? It was a level of codex to it that you had to kind of know what they were speaking about. It was not surface information. But Zachariah Sitchin, through his misinterpretation, his mistranslation, and straight up thievery of doctrine, he was able, I guess, as a double agent, to convolute a lot of this information and just throw a twist on it. And it still has a lot of people transfixed to this day. You know what I'm saying? Where they're not really able to marry the actual concepts of what were being conveyed by these ancient civilizations. And here we are in the muck and the mire, punching our way through a wet paper bag, attempting to convince people that the stuff that they're talking about has no merit in reality. And I'm like, y'all should really get into sci-fi and just produce the movies. We've been saying this, like, we'll help. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell a compelling narrative that is so interesting fictionally, but it's not reality. And Zachariah Sitchin is very responsible for that. And his stuff has been debunked a long time ago. But people are still running with that cloth like it's artificial, like it's official. And again, because there's different tiers in the community, there's people that came in through different avenues, there's people that came in late. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're on the internet regurgitating old information, bumping heads. And we don't have time for that. These are old conversations.
Facts.
So, all right. So if he's a fraud, he didn't take Elijah's shit then, because that will make Elijah a fraud. So he can't be a fraud then. I mean, he can't be. He couldn't have took Elijah's shit.
He took Elijah's stuff and obscured it, remixed it, and flipped it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he has not been forthright, just like David Icke would never be forthright to talk about the melanated aspect of these entities and these deities, the melanated origins. They have obfuscated. I think that's the word. Hold on.
Obfuscated.
Yeah, they. You know what I'm saying?
That's the same thing that's going on with this report that they just put out. They refused to say that these were dark men. These were tall, dark. They were like, they're tall and they're thin.
Obfuscate. Yeah. They're tall and they're thin and they're lanky, but they wouldn't say what they were. But my thing is this: if you read the same report, is it a report from? Because my whole thing with the Bible, I'll interject some concepts that I have since I was a youth, right? And we didn't grow up in no religious household or anything like that. And I read a lot of comic books and I read, mad fantasy stuff. And I used to tell Red, I'd be like, yo, the Bible, I think that they deposited from the future into the past and people are reading the timeline backwards. Remember I used to tell you that, Red?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing when you read this report and they are remote viewing, right? They're remote viewing and going to space, or they're going to Mars and they're making these observations about these tall, lanky folk that were building pyramids or that were around pyramids during the end. They said that they were part of a failing civilization because they had made ecological disasters.
Right.
So Wesley Muhammad says that Elijah Muhammad told him or them that we don't have the same ecological environments on different planets, that all of these planets, melanated, quote unquote, men were seated on. So are you talking about the same physiology, anatomy, and biology? Or are you also saying that this is indicative of the story of the Anunnaki, who said that they are genetically creating entities and beings and putting them? Where does that leave God, my ninja? Let's rewind it and go back though, right? He said, or this report said, that these same beings or these entities, they were part of a failing ecological society and they were looking to get off the planet. They were waiting for a savior. Do you need me to read the report for you? Right? Do you need me to read the report for you? Right? So again, we're talking about some transfixed folks. Even if they was on Mars,
right?
They were scary. There evidently was a group of party of them that went to find a new place to live. It's like I'm getting all kinds of overwhelming input of the corruption of their environment. It's falling very rapidly. Is that not what's happening here? And this group went somewhere like a long way to find another place to live. What was the cause of the atmospheric disturbance or the environmental disturbance? Right? So obviously, like, let's just rewind the clock. This was a point in time, obviously, when Mars had a majority of oxygen on the surface and whatever entities were there were a lot larger. The absence of such denotes the fact that it's what? Red now.
Right.
Right? And at one point it was green with water. What was the cause of the atmospheric disturbance or the environment disturbance? I see a picture of oh hell, it's almost warped and oh God, this is difficult. It's like let's see the raw data, right? The CIA handlers is they like, nigga, stop getting emotional, stop getting in your feelings. Tell us what you see. We want raw data.
Right.
I get a globe. It's like a globe that goes through a comet's tail, right? And then they go on and on. And all I get is that they must wait. Doesn't know who I am. Thinks he perceived I'm a hallucination or something. So they're asking him if he has contacted them on Mars, the giants, and made a communication with them. That's right. Like a nigga today saying what? Oh, an orb came to me, right? And it was an apparition or spirit and I was hallucinating off of some mushrooms. So therefore, whatever was told to me or whatever I saw, I was tripping balls. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't take it seriously. It's the same thing that happened with them, because he shows up as a spirit or apparition or a voice in their head, and they're like, yo, we're hallucinating. Don't they got telepathy on Mars? No. These niggas ain't an advanced species. He went back 1,000,000 years, right? So why is the monolithic construction and the things that were done, not just on the planet? Remember, there's a pyramidal line throughout the universe that is located at 19.5 degrees. There's pyramids on Mars. They found the pyramids on Venus. And all of this aligns along the Jupiter, you know, where the eye and all of that is at, 19.5. Right? This is where Sidonia and all of that is at on Mars. The face on Mars.
Yep.
Right? And then when you go across this planet at the 19.5 parallel line, that's the equatorial line where you can find pyramids up and down.
Blue, real
you don't
quick.
just find it here, you find it through the galaxy.
Right. Yeah, I got your presentation and it's uploaded in the back office.
Oh, okay, so what that mean? I can access. How do I access it? There we go. So yeah, it just, hey, look, 2 years ago today, I was here talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? Today look, I got this at Brother Rich event, right?
Hold on.
From the event. This is that spooky stuff you can't explain.
Yeah.
How do I hold up, Blue? Hold up.
Brother made a link for me, right? It's the same joint that I had on my logo 2 years ago on Black Magic 363.
Wow.
This chain is the vision that I saw. I took a picture of the sun on the eclipse on April 8th, and then the sun came out like this. I got the pictures to show it. I get to the event, the gathering of the masses. Bro got this waiting for me. How do you explain it? Right?
Oh, I thought you got that custom made. You ain't get that custom made?
This was part of my solar superpowers, because niggas was like, yo, y'all niggas ain't get your, yeah, I got my superpowers, nigga. You don't see me in the gym? Yeah. Talk that talk.
King of Kings.
I'm just saying.
Lord of Lords.
I'm
oh man.
If doing the work was a person. So let's continue cooking. Right? Where we at next with it? Yeah, that Project Stargate. These are some very good books that people can read on this particular project, right?
Yep.
So they can get a better deducing of what happened during this time period. Because like I said, this is old news. This information came out on May 22nd, 1984. So when they talk about portals and stargates, what's the first thing that elicits in your mind? Right? An eye or a portal? What does a portal look like? Like y'all logos this up there, right? It's a logo, it's a portal. So go to the next slide. All right, there go the stuff that I was just telling you about. Scientists are pretty sure they found a fifth dimension, a portal to the fifth dimension. We're talking about them opening 5 portals, right? Is that a coincidence? Right? And like I said, they had a whole movie and series about the Stargate program. And they showed the melanated entity, the alien in there. They was the head of that, right? Do y'all remember the movie?
Yep, I remember him.
All right. So
it was Kemetic.
Yeah, it was Kemetic, right? They went to Kemet. They were dealing with the pyramids. I'll save it. I was like, niggas don't got boy. Niggas don't be having nothing positive to say about pyramids or Cometians any other time. Right? But when they want to ride the waves of let's go to the next slide. So
hold up, my fault. Yeah.
1984 is a moment, right? It's a moment in our time that's indicative of a novel that came out where the whole logo, the whole sense, the whole energy of it is an eyeball or a Stargate. I'm sure that you guys are familiar, right? Go to the next slide, please. Right, so that's the whole report. It's a 9-page PDF. It's online. I actually got it off the CIA's website. So this is not tinfoil stuff. Like, this is their stuff. Right? Shout out to Art Bell. I used to listen to Art Bell growing up, Coast to Coast Radio. They always talk about remote viewing. They always talk about the shadow people. They always talk about the Mars programs. Right? This is the stuff that I grew up with, so I'm excited.
Hey, Blue, I heard you say earlier, real quick. You was talking about how you don't mess with Zachariah Sitchin, and stuff like that. Do you? What you think about that white dude David Wilcock? You mess with him? Some of his stuff?
Yeah, to a degree.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that fond of his work either. Again, he's all of these people is deniers of the real.
No, he's actually. I heard him say something about the black aliens before. Like, he's the only one that I heard say something at least.
Well, I think I saw an interview. They were talking about the melanated ones on Saturn. He might have been part of that conversation when dude came out, and he was talking about he observed. Now he said that he saw the melanated giants. They was on Saturn, getting off the ship. You feel me?
Indeed.
But yeah. The next slide is the next one. Yeah. 1984, right? Look at the motif. Look what they're harping on. They're speaking about the oculus. They're speaking about the eye. And this is the eye in the sky, the big brother, right? So what would that be today? What would be the big eye in the sky that's observing everything? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
Space station?
Nah. It would be like Elon. It's the satellites.
Okay.
Right? There's nothing that they don't see that's taking place on this plane of existence. That's why I don't know how y'all allow them to feed you the narrative that they got drones up there looking for nuclear reactive substances, even though they did say that the detection of nuclear activity was heightened in the tri-state area, but they could pick that up from a satellite, with thermal readers. Why would they need a drone? Why he ain't send Starlink over there yet? They just playing with people, y'all. So yeah, 1984, right? It's dealing with the eye. It's dealing with the oculus. It's dealing with the Stargate. You feel me? The next one, so let's be indicative of the day though. May 22nd, that's a famous day. Right? Go to the next slide. Right? That's Bitcoin Pizza Day. Right? Pizza Day is also known as Pi Day. Right? And when you go to the next slide, right, we'll see that what it's hitting for. Right? What is pi? Pi is getting into that circle, is getting into this aspect of when you circle the circle, now we're dealing with the Vesica Pisces. Now we're dealing with the real eye in the middle. You feel me? And now that ties directly into the Vatican. So we could go to the next one. And then, this particular ceremony or ritual is transfixed and them accessing the portal, right? And again, there's various different reasons that they are going through great lengths to do this particular ceremony or ritual. Normally it's 4. This was mandated by Pope Paul in the early 1400s. It's Pope Pablo's all over this thing. In 1975, when we was born, they opened the door. That was Pope Paul VI. The actual one that's responsible for making the Jubilee year every 25 years. That was Pope Paul II in 1470. You know what I'm saying? And then Pope Paul resided over, this was Pope Paul II. Then you got John Pope, right? The one that we grew up underneath. He did the other ones always, leading up into what we're dealing with now. So it normally was 4 doors. They included a 5th door, which was open today. The last door that they're going to open is the Pope Pablo door, right? The one for Pope Paul or St. Paul. And that would be on January 2nd, I believe. But the one that they opened today was the prison, right? They opened the prison door because the theme for next year, just like I had mandated last year, this time I said that the word for this year that we're in now is going to be judgment, right? I said that you're going to see everybody, the judicial system is going to step forth, judgment. Everybody's going to be catching cases. We saw how that played out. Next year is salvation,
right,
and hope, right? Salvation and hope. So the theme is redemption. So they went to the prison, right? But the flip side of that could be, they're opening the gates and they're imprisoning souls that are going to go for the bamboozle, right? Of being fooled by the eye. You did a bad job this year dealing with discernment. Now, what happens next year, right? When they trick your eye. You feel me? You trick your eye. So this Jubilee did not necessarily just start the other day on the 23rd. This is a 2-part Jubilee. Go to the next slide. The 2-part Jubilee started on 2016. That's when the first one starts. You feel me? And then this one is the tail end for it. So look how they flips it. Go to the next 2 because I don't want the other one. I don't need the other one. Right? This is how they're flipping it for the next one. Go to the next one, please. Right? What is the Jubilee? The Jubilee is the blowing of the trumpets. The first Jubilee was in 2016. This Jubilee is now preparing for the return of the trump or the trumpet, right? Who they have canonized, even though it has not, they have not done it under Catholicism necessarily, but the evangelicals have damn sure canonized him as a Christ figure.
Facts.
Are you serious?
Cult figure.
Look, straight up, not just a cult figure. They said divine intervention. They said he is the best example of someone who is divinely guided and blessed based on the intervention that he received during the assassination attempts and his compelling sweep. Because if God blesses America, right, but he has bestowed this favor upon Trump, then he becomes the benefactor of all blessings. So this is who they are trumping as their God in the flesh, right? And he has received the mandate to become their pope and their emperor, and he's acting hella empirical, and he didn't even get up in the seat yet. Have you been seeing the articles? Right? Son is sending tweets to other countries like, yo.
Yeah, let me get that country.
Yeah, lay down. Let me get that. You feel me? Get that. Because I'm coming with the pistols out if I need to, right? But let me see what hole I can knock just by hollering at them. So that's the game that they're playing. Right? Next one. If you look at the alignment of these different portals that are being opened, right? They form the sigil of Lucifer. Shout out to my brother B-Dale. He has a compelling breakdown on this on a presentation that he just released 8 days ago on his YouTube. I advise that you go there, where he gets into the necropolis, the necromancy aspect of it, that there's a catacomb directly underneath.
Yep.
The Vatican is being activated. You feel me? And that specifically also ties into this penitentiary that they opened the portal for today. Okay? You have to understand the dictates and you got to get into the science and understand this concept of Lucifer. It's not the same as necessarily Satan. They have bundled them together, They bundled the devil, Satan, and Lucifer together. And these are different entities that mean different things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to sit up here and proselytize for the sake of Lucifer, right? But we're going to get into some of the explanations and definitions, and you know, the obvious catching with their hand in the cookie jar. So the next one, right? This is what I was saying. Jubilee of 75, Pablo, right? Jubilee of 83, Pablo. You feel me? And again, if you go to the next slide, you can see there that Pope Paul II was responsible for changing it into a 25-year period. Now, Jubilees, even though they have 25-year periods, they denote 7-year periods, and they denote 49-year periods, right? And we so happen to be 49 this year, and we also happen to be born in the year 75. The next slide, please. Okay. So we spoke about this. We continuously speak about this. At least I do on these programs when I speak about the fact that if we as melanated people, right, have been in this country for 400 years under the dictates of what we call to be slavery, because if you listen to niggas, that's what they keep saying, right? And they have bore the curse of Canaan, then your black ass has been freed up since 2019, August 20th specifically. 2019, you received your freedom, or your jubilee started then. What's the evidence of that? They say what? Jubilee deals with the pardoning of debts and the freeing of slaves. What happened in 2019 during this time, 2019, right? Does anybody remember what happened in December of 2019? December of 2019.
Was that cosmic alignment?
It was the Great Return. It's when melanated people got their ass freed up and went back to the place where they lost their freedom, which was Ghana. And Ghana did $1.9 billion of business. It was the great year of return. It was the Jubilee year. And it was setting us up for 2020 to have a celebratory period. But what happened in 2020? Parting them debts. Remember when all the corporations cut checks? Remember when BLM became the benefactor of the bestowing that was put on melanated people, and they utilized George Floyd as the cover to do it? Remember when we partied as people during 2020?
Yeah, it was a Jubilee year.
Who led the party? Online. Who led the party?
Oh, Tory Lanez.
Thank you. We'll get back to that. Just park that there. Because when I was here 2 years ago, today, talking about this show, guess who we was talking about?
Who? Tory Lanez.
Remember, that was the show when they had the polar vortex out. It was mad cold. Oh. And Tory just got sentenced. And I was given the knowledge about Daystar and the fact that they locked the sun up, and his father, Sunstar, was on them steps talking about Hov.
Right.
Let's go to the next slide. So we got to understand the play that's at hand, right? Because we love talking about how much bread they got, and these people is after this and they that. I'm like, yo, you have not been studying the Vatican the way that we've been studying the Vatican for the last few years. Shout out to Vicky Dilliard. She's been on top of things as well, right? They're doing horrible. Right? Pope Francis is super unpopular because he's forcing the LGBT agenda. As an astrologer, he's attempting to catch the church up to the age of Aquarius in alignment with Uranus, which means the kingdom of heaven. But he's like, look, in order for us to be coinciding with the age of Aquarius and Uranus, those, they have to be inclusive, because that's what that sign represents. That's what Aquarian is. You feel me? That's what Uranus is. And they can't usher and transition themselves in playing the same game that they've been playing in open. They have to embrace their truth. And he's been attempting to try to do that at the result of the destruction of the church. You feel me? So the Vatican is on the brink of bankruptcy due to dramatic decline in global donations under Pope Francis's leadership. So they are attempting, right, as well, shout out to B Dell. He made a good point, and again, he said that they are attempting to resuscitate, rejuvenate, and revive the church by what? Casting these spells. You know what I'm saying? By doing these ceremonial rituals, they're attempting to put some riz back in it because it's dead. Feel me? As evidence of the next, you could go to the next slide, right? They're washing them up in their home, right? Over in Bethlehem and Palestine, they're decimating them. They're washing them up. You know what I'm saying? And the Pope is a uber vocal critic about, you know, the situation going on over there that we shall not mention. Uber critic, right?
He just did a whole sermon on that.
Did a whole sermon, right? He's been sticking his neck out, literally, going against the Zionist state, right? So it's confusing. You don't know who's playing for whose team. It's a lot going on, and there's enough ceremonial portal rituals to be like, damn, is this going on? Is this? God, I'm confused. Right, next one. So these are, you know, this is what I suggest, right? When melanated people finally understand what the hell happened to them over here, right? Whether you came here on a boat or you was over here and you got hit over the head, you know what I'm saying, and they slit your throat and took all your property and put you in a shallow grave. The church did it to you, 1493 with the papal bull. The doctrine of discovery. Stop talking about why is he talking about he discovered America, nigga, because he came with the doctrine. And it was the first piece of international law, and it still stands as law. Right. So you lost your shit, you lost your lunch because of Jesus. So melanated people around the world should put a class action suit together and sue God by way of the church for your reparations. Right? This woman did it. She took God to church and won. For failure to appear is a default judgment. Nigga.
That wasn't enough bread. You're supposed to hit him for more.
Yeah, she cleaned up. That was a clean sweep.
Back then, 100 bands in 69 was a lot.
So I'm getting my Pope hat on the next slide. These are existential questions. Like if you want to shut down any debate with a few questions and cause a riot, this is what you ask them. Screenshot it, send it to your pastor. Okay? How can God demand obedience of us but allow open rebellion from an underling who brings harm to his chosen ones? What use is favor if it doesn't extend to that of a savior? If God is all, then who exactly are we fighting? Explain that to me. If he's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omnipotent, who the hell is Satan? We all fell for the rules and we keeping it going by these arguments and these debates, and you putting so much energy into this shit like it's real, right? When we're talking about cosmic forces, there can never not be negativity. Like there can never not be and you know, positive and negative in terms of electrical forces. And then we've personified them, and man has imagination. He's always had imagination. I mean, the mushrooms are the oldest thing on the planet. So who knows how long man's mind has been under hallucinogens or psychedelics for him to have this vivid imagination to come up with story time. That's who he is. He tells stories. And we're transfixed in the story right now. And we're telling to ourselves about ourselves that makes no sense. In the same way melanated people have a disobedient child going astray, same way God the Father has to reign in his own ennoble soldier who he shows more grace than his own begotten. Right? Is this his illegitimate seed? It's impossible if we are all legitimate creations, our creator, who makes no mistakes, but definitely has favorites, which makes him an impartial being, and therein is where the problem lies. Right? How does the devil have reign in this domain, right? If he has to clear everything with the big homie. They playing cat and mouse. Do you believe that at this age? Are we left to pick up the pieces, and whoever navigates this train wreck of a maze gets a reward at the end? The people behind the curtain all sit at Santa's side for picture day, right? In the lollipop. Let's go to the next one. So spiritual discernment is what we all going to need going into whatever it is that we're going into, because there's going to be a lot of falsehood. There's going to be a lot of trickery, right? There's going to be a lot of tricking of the eye. You have no idea what you're about to see. Or we could go to the next one. I think because I sent you the PDF, it's not going to play, but dude is breaking down how they also just found an interstellar tunnel that connects our solar system to other stars. This came out the other day as well. Right? 12/18. This came out December 18th. So this is speaking about they found a interstellar tunnel system in the Centaurus constellation. So they had to have put this out during Sagittarius, which is governed by the centaur, but the centaur is also a motif for the wounded healer Chiron, which is all our own personal assignment. It's interpersonal. You're going into next year, and this year of completion, you're going to have to heal yourself up to be effective, to be, one of the soldiers of light against the army of darkness, my nigga. You're going to have to do the work personally, internally, to make yourself bioavailable, or you're going to get eaten up. And can't nobody hold your hand, right? So this is explaining, where these intergalactic dimensional beings are coming from. They're showing you the wormholes and how everything connects with the interstellar tunnel, right? But on a quantum level, you have these interstellar tunnels that are taking place at some atomic place. Like all of this is taking place inside of you at any given time, right? Next one, again, that's Chiron. I would advise you to look up Chiron, find out what Chiron is in your chart. That's where you need to do the work at as the wounded healer, right? Healing is internal. You feel me? So I've put this controversial post up. People is in their feelings. While I'm reminding them, shout out to my brother Kwame Sunhorse, who told us there are no healers, only helpers. If like some Osmosis Jones shit, if I can't go in your body and do the healing for you, nigga, I'm not a healer. And can't nobody do that for you. If you're allowing somebody inside of you to heal you, then you have fall for the biggest grift of them all. Okay? You do the healing, we direct traffic, right? And we spell cast to break inferior spells, because you're under a spell. When a white doctor in a white coat tells you that you got 6 months to live, guess what? When you believe them, your mind starts processing, those 6 months.
Placebo.
So yeah, Dr. Sebi was a spell caster and a spell breaker. That was his effectiveness. The herbs worked on their own. There was nothing special about what he did with some herbs that made them work. He was able to talk to people into confidence enough to believe him long enough for the herbs to work, so they could get out of their own way. But he don't go in nobody's body and do the healing for them. We getting caught up with these terms, and them shits is going to people's heads. And niggas is out here having pissing contests. You're a helper, a glorified one, but a helper nonetheless, right? It's everybody's job to do their personal healing. Chiron. Find out where you need to do your healing at. And you could be a service to community once your ass is healed. Other than that, you're a hindrance. Next one. So this is the eye, right? This is the obfuscation of the eye is what I'm speaking about. The camera obscura. This is how the eye works, like a camera. The eye sees things upside down. It hits it to the back of the brain, right? So everything that you see is a quarter, like it's a fraction of a second off, and it has to be reconfigured. And we are simulating reality in front of us and convincing ourselves that it's real. But everything that you see is upside down. But we in reality though. This is an agreed upon simulation that we're all participating in. You feel me? Next slide. This is just dealing with some Leonardo da Vinci, and I got 44s in there and stuff like that from back then. So that's, These is just the intellectual minds that was dealing with this philosophical thought way back when, right? Busting up these concepts all the way back then. And the only thing that we got handed struggle. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give us philosophy. They gave us struggle. Next one. So the oculus, the eye, right? It's all going to come down to that. This vesica Pisces, this vehicle. You feel me? How you going to be able to discern what you're looking at and differentiate what's real and what's not? The brain can't tell the difference, you know? If you go to a movie, shout out to Minister Jew, shout out to KT, the arts degree, who teach about neurocinematics. The brain can't differentiate, especially if there's feeling involved. It has no idea. That's up to you. So next one. So the the mascot of the Jubilee, right, is this creation called Luce. It's right in your face. Luce, light in the eyes, represents the vision of the light of God and the journey towards it. Light is a symbol of hope, right? Remember, hope is a hopiate, right? Hope is just like dope. You feel me? There's no such thing. They're selling you hopiates when they talk about hope. And in gematria, it also equals 44. That's why the 44th president brought it, right? Santino is the dog. Santino means saint. You know what I'm saying? They got the dove, they got Aura, they got Luby in there, they got Fee. She got her whole little gang in there. Zine, Sky, right? All of these are different motifs that they created, to wield in a younger audience with this next Jubilee. They want to be more inclusive. You could go to the next one. Luce was unveiled by Archbishop Reno Fisichella at the Dicastery for Evangelization on October 28, 2024, as the official mascot of 2025 Jubilee. He said the Luce was inspired by the Catholic Church's desire to live even within the pop culture, so beloved by our youth. So they're coming for your children, right? Luce has blue hair and wears a yellow rain jacket, which is colored in reference to the flag of the Vatican City, as well as a symbol for journeying through life storms. She carries a pilgrim staff. Now remember that staff, right? Which represents the pilgrimage towards eternity, and wears mustang boots, represent a long, difficult journey. Her eyes have highlights in the shape of a scallop shell, a traditional symbol of Catholic pilgrimage. Her shining eyes were described as a symbol of the hope of the heart. Luce also wears a multicolored world missionary rosary around her neck. All right, next. So we get into who is Lucifer and what is Lucifer, right? First of all, let's dismiss this whole thing. They be like, yo, there's a telescope in Arizona named Lucifer. Yes and no, right? Yes and no. Let's just be fair, right? There's a contraption or a piece that goes on to the observatory in Arizona. Yes, because the Vatican is into astronomy and astrology, right? And they have a observatory in Arizona as well as one in the Vatican. And the initials are large binocular telescope, near infrared spectroscopic unity with camera and integral field unit for extra galactic research. That the anagrams, it's spelled, that's Lucifer. Okay. The full title was descriptive of what the instrument was to do, but it was a mouthful. And notice that they had to play games with the acronym. That's what I was looking for, to get it to spell out anything memorable, right? So that's how they came up with the acronym for Lucifer for the observatory, okay? Or the telescope. The translation of Lucifer, morning star, right? And Satan never was the morning star. These are two different entities, okay? Lucifer is the light bringer, as in the Latin name for the planet Venus, in its morning appearance, right? They're talking about two different things, y'all. Next slide. Right? And we're very familiar with Lucy. Now, look how they played this picture. They got Lucifer with God. These characters carry over from other roles. So Morgan Freeman is still Bruce Almighty. Hence the fact that he's the person that narrates the story of God. That's how they did that. It came out in 2014. Let's go to the next slide. Then you got my guy, right? And you got my guy who slid in a year later. Next slide. Damn. How you do that, son? How was your timing so precise? That you wrote a whole anthology to Lucifer with your album that came out a year later in 2015, To Pimp a Butterfly. So we're very familiar. I don't think I got to read through all of the lyrics, right, for his anthology dealing with Lucy. Go back and listen to Pimp the Butterfly. Let's go to the next two slides, y'all. Right? Lucy is short for Lucifer, a title Kendrick has attached to commercial success and corporate greed within the rap industry. This is Kendrick's recounting his first meeting with Lucy, which directly correlates with his first successes as a rap artist and his first brush with the true American dream. Okay? Lucy, Lucifer the devil, wouldn't like Kendrick, someone she wants for herself, praying to her enemy, God. She doesn't mind, though, because she knows at the end of the day, he'll run to her anyway. This line can easily be heard as I, Lucy, heard prayers, even when Kendrick was praying to God, Lucifer was listening, also playing on the irony that loosely rhymed. Right? Shout out to Kendrick. Next one. Yeah, so the existential question, even the one that came up in the conversation with Billy, people keep talking about Isaiah 14 and what does it mean, right? And the fact that the Lucifer character, even Satan, which are two separate beings, they're not integral figures in the book. Maybe in the New Testament, but not the Old Testament. You don't find a lot of them. They are not necessarily the antagonists. Right? The antagonists are the wayward chosen ones. You feel me? So there's this whole thing about when Lucifer gets introduced or quote unquote, and they're not necessarily speaking about Lucifer as much as they're speaking about the wayward people. They're speaking about Babylon. And the thing about God in the Bible, he utilizes ops, right? Like, let's say he got a son, right? And he spent mad bread on his son. He spoiled his son. His son is spoiled rotten. And his son started feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? And he went to school. He went to high school. He bought him a whip and everything, right? And then he just started stunting on his daddy. He was like, damn. But his son was like, he was mad smart, but he wasn't a jock. And there was a jock in school that he was real jealous of. So his daddy go to the jock and share all of his son's business with the jock because he want to humble his son. He gave him everything that he needed to destroy his son. He started going in on him, right? Going to all of the message boards, just spreading mad information on him. And he got his son to the brink where his son was almost ready to hang up. And then he came to his daddy, crying and he kind of asked for redemption, like, yo, I need you on this. You know what I'm saying? I need you on this, Pops. Like, homie about to wash me. I don't know what to do with him. And then his Pops was like, yo, I got you, son. He just really wanted his son to gravel and crawl back to him to show that level of obedience. He wanted appreciation. And then they go to school together and he getting washed up. You know what I'm saying? He washed the jock up. That's what God did with Babylon to lean on, right? His chosen ones who wasn't rocking with him. He stayed getting his hoes knocked, right? He was a bad pimp. You feel me? He was lousy out here. They stayed getting knocked. And every single time that he had to get him back, he'd go to fear tactics, but he'd go to their sworn enemies to do that. And then he'd turn around, turncoat on the sworn enemies and wash them off. So that's what Isaiah 14 is about, right? The Babylonians. And that's the same analogy of what's happening with melanated people who find themselves captive 400 years here under a despotic regime in what they call America Babylon, because God is using them to persecute his children who have been disobedient, right? Because the narrative goes, yeah, you was over there on a continent doing all of that weird shit, and you wasn't being obedient, obeying me the way that I needed you to. So I'm going to put you in chains in this persecution to remind you, right, who's in charge. And that's the narrative that they run with. So you'll see down here, it says the fallen king is described as Daystar, son of dawn. The fallen king is described this way in the chapter. So his name is not Lucifer, his name is Daystar, just like Tory Lanez. Okay? And I know because we showed the iconography in the videos when Tory Lanez was doing the video and he was doing the God and the devil comparisons in the video. Lucifer is not referred to as the son of the morning. The name Lucifer means morning star and is literally what a star is called. The reason why people think Lucifer is the name of Satan is that he likes to go about stealing other people's credits, good names, social positions, and such whenever he gets a chance in the eyes of whoever he can fool. Jesus is referred to as the morning star because he is the light by which we see the path to God, right? So we could go to the next one, please. And I show you with the next one right there, right? When we did the lecture 2 years ago today, we were speaking about Daystar, right? Daystar Peterson, right there, my guy. Right? Speaking on behalf of the Lord, Isaiah now commands the people of Israel to celebrate the death of the king of Babylon. They celebrated something that they called a taunting song. That was like drill music back then. You feel me? They made songs taunting the deaths. That was their version of drill. Next one. And then we get into the definition of Satan, you know what I'm saying, coming from Santos and Santana and all of that. 2 different definitions, 2 different entities, 2 different beings. I recommend that you read this a book, and you could go on Google Books now and read it. Then I just gotta remember the title of it. It was a book that I had read back in the day about the whole history of Satan and how they came up to Dante's Inferno, all that BI. If you go to super duper ancient traditions like African traditional systems, like they don't have no concept of the devil. That's a modern concept. That's a modern fiction that was created. You know what I'm saying? That's not ancient.
Facts.
It's not
Facts.
ancient.
Rich, can you mute your phone? I think so.
I'm already on mute, Red.
Oh, Blue, is that you moving something around? That's your mouse?
Nah,
Okay.
no. Convert. So let me just read this little passage real quick. This is out of it's called The Origin of Satan. Y'all can go on Google Books and read it. They got 27 pages available for you now. Go order the book and read it, please. So we can wake up from the spookism. Okay? Next slide is I'm gonna read from here real quick. Conversion from paganism to Judaism or Christianity. When I began this work, I assumed that Jewish and Christian perceptions of invisible beings had to do primarily with moralizing the natural universe, as Buber claimed, and so with encouraging people to interpret events ranging from illness to natural disasters as expressions of God's will or divine judgment on human sin. But my research led me in unexpected directions and discovered a far more complex picture. Such Christians as Justin Martyr, one of the fathers of the church, attribute affliction not to God's will, but to the malevolence of Satan. His student Titian allows for accidents in the natural world, including disasters for which he says God offers solace, but seldom miraculous intervention. So he's like, this ain't my domain. I gave earth as a dominion to Satan. He's in charge of all of this. Shout out to Bobby and Panic. Rereading biblical and extra biblical accounts of angels, I learned first of what many scholars have pointed out, that while angels often appear in the Hebrew Bible, Satan, along with other fallen angels or demonic beings, is virtually absent. Okay? And then it comes in the New Testament, right? Because they got a whole Beelzebub and all of this stuff they're speaking about, that comes from Babylon. These are all them interspersing and intermingling with different people's traditions. And those traditions come with different entities and beings. And we out here just we just out here doing the most, man. You know what I'm saying? We just a spooky ass people. While the Gospel of Mark, for example, mentions angels only in the open frame and in the final verses of the original manuscript, Mark deviates from mainstream Jewish tradition by introducing the devil into the crucial opening scene of the gospel, and goes on to characterize Jesus's ministry as involving continuous struggle between God's spirit and the demons who belong apparently to Satan's kingdom. Such visions have been incorporated into Christian traditions that have served, amongst other things, to confirm for Christians their own identification with God and to demonize their opponents. First, other Jews, then pagans, and later dissident Christians called heretics. This is what this book is about. They break it down in this book and they give you the rules. They show you when it was implemented. These are political tools, okay, to demonize people. Feel me? Do your research. Please. Go get the book. Next slide. Shout out to Michael Jackson, Mike. So in the narrative, right? In the narrative as it's explained, Michael, as the archangel, returns with the legion to do battle, right? And destroy the great Satan. I think that was unprecedented, that before he transitioned, he got that clip that's been going around YouTube lately where he called out Satan, called him Tommy Mottola, right? And the great Satan is the great dragon. So coincidentally, Drake identifies with Michael, but Drake is the great dragon. He's Draco. Right? So again, we established that these are different entities. When they speak about Satan, he's the great deceiver, right? He's the one that will steal your stuff and make it his own. You feel me? He's the finesser 2 times. Go to the next slide. So this is the original grifter. This is the original grifter.
Say that.
I just did. I say it again. This is the original grifter. So the fact that people would align themselves, you know, you got to open a door or a portal and be like, bye-bye. Go over there. Cross over. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody said Fat Joe.
They said Fat Joe? What they
the one on the far left. Is that Joseph?
That's Pope Alexander VI. He's the one that wrote the papal bull of 1493 that got your ass in slavery to this day. The Intercatera, that's his son right there, called Caesar Borgia. To this day. His son is Caesar Borgia, who becomes Jesus. Right? So this one family, right? Are you talking about finessing? He creates a papal bull and sends Columbus over here with it to say, wherever you encounter heathens, Saracens, right, or indigenous people, you're supposed to ask them, do they recognize Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior? So they like, who? Even if they know him by different names, they don't know the face. That's his son. Like, what are you doing? And then they utilize that to take everybody's stuff to this day. And nobody's put this together. We was born into this to figure this shit out for ourselves. For real. Next. So, I would say that what Billy was saying wasn't so off. I guess it's just how he said it. What he was saying wasn't too off, right? It's the great deceiver. This is the original grifter.
Blue, I know people that return back to Christianity from because of what happened on the internet.
I can only imagine. Next one. Yeah, bro, I
Blue,
guess we're gonna have to write a book about it.
You got Blue, because I got about 20 more minutes left.
No, I only got a few more.
Okay.
Right. John 8:44. This is, shout out to my 44 resonators. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out his desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, refusing to uphold the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language because he is a liar and the father of lies, right? Then we can go to the next slide. And they're putting it in front of your face. They did a whole Netflix series about the Borgias. A whole Netflix series, right? What does it say? The original crime family. What does it say, the caption up there? Hellbent. But they're out here still playing these games with people, and people is falling for it. And you don't know these people when they come to you. You don't know what you're looking at. Right? The Papal Bull of 1493 appointing the first vicar apostolic in the New World. All right. Next one, we can see, right? Even when we're speaking about the portals and the kingdoms, right? They say that man has dominion over all kingdoms. But here you got Brazil. They have a conflict in Brazil with Christ the Redeemer because the Catholic Church wants to come and take over the property that this particular statue is on. But the statue's in the national forest that is a conservatory for all of the animals, right, that were destroyed and decimated when these people came ravishing with the conquistadors and everything. So the church is like, look, we don't got no business with maintaining nature and conservatism. Y'all do that. We into tourism. We want to make sure that the experience for the visitors is something that they don't forget. We could care less about nature. So I'm like, damn, ain't these people supposed to be? Who are we talking about here? Right? Y'all represent God on earth, but y'all don't take care of the earth. Anyway, the hypocrisy, y'all. So, next slide. It goes into, this concept that everybody worships under the biggest religion in the world, really, which is Americana. You know what I'm saying? And all of these other things is just constellations that are loosely connected and attached to it. Next, assimilation versus acculturation. Which one are you? Acculturation is the adaptation process that occurs when two or more. So this is what you have. This is what you experienced, Rich. What people is talking about that happened. Acculturation, the adoption process that occurs when two or more cultures come into contact. It involves adopting new beliefs, behaviors, and forms of culture of the dominant group in a new culture. It does not require rejection of your home culture. Assimilation is a more extreme form of cultural change and involves a complete adoption of the dominant culture as well as the rejection of the previous culture. This is often demanded of new immigrants to a society. Right? Next slide. So we know what we're looking at. We've been looking at it for a long time. Right? Shout out to Brother Rich for compelling me to create this in 2006. Right? When he was outside in Brooklyn, had to deal with Christians downtown Brooklyn. And we created this visual to stop them in their tracks so they could stop being so damn spooky. Right? And they could finally do the knowledge. Yeah, get some of this Ashra quick. No, you weren't supposed to be selling Ashra quick. My bad. Yeah, so next slide. I'm already at my commercial. You know what I'm saying? End of the year, to shake it off, there's been a lot of weight put on us as a people. We're going to celebrate bringing into the new year. You know what I'm saying? We're going to celebrate discernment. We're going to celebrate the fact that, you feel me, we ain't end up on Cat Williams' list. You know what I'm saying? And we just going to get ready for this 9 year. So we got two parties. We got a day party. Shout out to Daystar. Next one, we got a day party, for the people that want to come for $3.99. It's from 2 to 7. We're opening up a new venue. It's on Edgewood 488, right next to the Slutty Vegan. Right on Edgewood. And this is going to be a work studio, right? It's like a content creation house, but the fact that our streaming network it's a studio, it's a distribution outlet. And that's the one thing that movie productions don't have. They don't have distribution. So immediately once you get distribution, you change it to studios. So we have the capacity to turn this venue into a studio production house, meaning that whatever content gets produced can immediately be published and distributed. And there's going to be a lot of AI courses and activities and workshops. You know, it's going to be like an AI cafe, you know, where you're going to be able to come and get access to the latest, greatest technology, right? And it's a consumption lounge. So you can partake in the cannabis and everything, you know what I'm saying, that comes along with that at this particular location. We got a day party, like I said, from 2 to 7. And the next flyer, we got a night party, and that is from 8 to 2. Okay? So that is on New Year's Eve, next Tuesday.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
man, listen, wow. Could y'all believe the year over already, huh? Y'all having New Year's parties and stuff. The whole year's 2024.
Over already.
I'm doing a year in review on the 30th, and I want to give you the award. Before I do it, I want to take advantage of being here to say that when I do my personal assessment for my top experience of 2024, I gave it up to the Gathering of the Masters as my peak experience in 2024. Right. It encapsulated everything that this year represented in terms of the new timeline, in terms of the event horizon, in terms of true community, you know, what it feels like, what not just look like, not this thing where we are interfacing between screens and whatnot, but it was a real IRL moment in real life. And that did it for me. You know what I mean? It was such a high that there was something actually called Gathering of the Masters, you know, withdrawal. Withdrawal. There was a withdrawal stage, literally. So yeah, I just want to say, when you first announced it, it wasn't on my bingo card for being the top event because I had a pretty lit year. I did a lot of things. It wasn't on my bingo card to be that at that point. And I was like, yo, let me just see what this is going to be about because it's something new. I haven't seen nothing like this before. It's a new lineup. It's different. We haven't seen this in Atlanta yet. It's a rich production, and we haven't seen something on this scale. It's giving me St. Francis College vibes, and you outdid yourself, brother.
That's right.
Thank you for that experience.
That's right.
I'm honored to be a part of that.
Yeah,
it's amazing, brother. It was a catalyst of my transformation as well. I mean, you know, it was so many things. It was so many highlights that I experienced right here on this platform that I attribute. You know, when people ask, like, well, what happened? I'm like, yo, this happened and that happened and that happened. and they all happened here. I think it was the solar eclipse episode. It was the subtle energy episode. And then, you know, it was me having to get ready for Gathering of the Masses to handle the heavy lifting of feeding, you know, 1,000 people. I had to get in shape to do that. I had to get my mind right. I had to get disciplined. And I had to get regimented. And, you know, I know you told me what you told me earlier, but I had to arrest my night demon. I had to get on my circadian rhythm and get my life back. Yeah. So
yeah.
You know, shout out to everybody that, you know what I'm saying? Look, the article did come out and said that night owls is the smarter people on the planet.
Yeah.
They did say that. They said, you know, I've been a night owl all my life. I tried something. I'm attempting something new, and I'm reaping the benefits. But I always advise people to use whatever works best for them.
Spiritually speaking, like your let's say your intuition and your spiritual faculties, what's the biggest difference between being a night owl and now letting your body sleep at night and following a circadian rhythm? You personally, not what you read. You personally.
No. Yeah. My personal narratives is that I'm sharp as a whip. Like, in the early mornings. So I was used to going to sleep at 4 a.m. because I would burn the midnight oil, but I would stay up to the witch's hour because writing wise, that's where the magic happens for me. Right.
Yeah.
You can ask shout out to Cambada, them 4 a.m. sessions when we blank out and we wake up and be like, when did we do that? Who did that?
Right. Those
It
be
be
the
it's that time
portals.
pocket, that 3 to 4, like late out, like 4:30, 4:45, 4:44.
Facts.
That's when the magic happens. So now that I'm waking up at that hour, I'm a lot more cognizant, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the way that my brain functions and the circadian rhythm of me being able to go to the gym and get out by 6. I'm receiving such a dopamine hit, and serotonin receptors have been restored. Now, I was losing my serotonin receptors because of brain rot, and my brain rot set in because of doom scrolling, right? And blue light toxicity.
My fault.
What happens with brain rot is that when we're scrolling like this, the information is not being caught in our hippocampus or our amygdala. So everything is short-term memory, right? We're not processing long-term memory. This is what sleep denotes. This is what REM sleeps. The fact that you could take the information from today, break it down, decode it, compartmentalize it, put it where it needs to be, reset it, wash the brain, and get ready for the next day to receive new information. I was not doing that. If I was going to sleep at 4 a.m. and my lights was on and I was on screens all day, my body was saying it was 3 p.m. So there was no melatonin was being released. So my body was not signaling that I was going to sleep, just taking a nap. I was waking up even more tired, and I had brain fog, and I could not catch my energy. So I was always playing catch up for the day, fronting like I was doing the most, but my body was like, yo, you can't do this. And it was like, you don't got the energy to do the things that you're saying with your mouth that you're going to be doing. And it's like, you're fronting and we're going to expose you. So I had to get in line. My body and my mind had to coincide, agree, and get in line. You know what I'm saying? So my downloads be like hyper by like 7 or 8 a.m. And that's when my rhymes, my rights, like everything comes like in lightning bolts like this. Because the serotonin and dopamine hits when I get out of the gym, you get rewarded for you accomplishing goals. So I pop up, like my alarm go off. I don't be in the, like I got 10, 50, like I haven't been that type of person for a long time. Even if my alarm used to go off at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., I would still lay around, think about it, and get up. Now it's like military. You know what I'm saying? I don't miss days. I get to it and I be about my business. So for me, it's rewarding. For me, I'm able to restore an aspect of myself. I'm restoring my youth. In terms of me saying, I know how my brain works. My brain works like it did when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? And I need that for myself. For discernment, specifically spiritual discernment, being able to see with my eyes closed. I need that for where I'm headed.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
That Oxford Dictionary just named the word of the year for 2024 brain rot.
Yeah. Yes.
That was the word of the year.
The biggest thing.
You ever heard of creative fatigue? Where people are basically stopped doing content because they got they have fatigue, creative fatigue, they're getting burnt out.
Get burnt out. Yeah. So many YouTube creators get burnt out. So many.
Yeah. But I saw a lot of that this year, more than any year.
More than any year, yeah.
Right.
And then you have this rabbit hole that the people are saying that the internet is basically eating itself because, it's almost like an endless rabbit hole where, people are just consuming all of this brain rot content. So even in the space of consciousness in 2024, I experienced brain rot consciousness you know, and it came out of TikTok. It came from like people Facebook messaging me, the shit they'll send you in your inbox private page, you know, like all of that is brain rot. It's like you sending me George Floyd videos. It's 2024. Like, who's sending this? Who's doing this? Who do you think I am? Type shit. You know, all of the content creators that we don't even know, the faceless channels. Like, it was a lot this year. So moving forward into 2025, me personally, you know, I'm going to do my best to not entertain the brain rot content.
Yo, I straight up had a digital addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be on the screen for 16 hours some days.
Facts.
And again, no story is like, oh, they found alien. Like, no story was big enough to sit me down, capture my attention, and make me really go and research and do a deep dive. I'm looking for the next hit.
For the big one. Right.
So that is my you know, you're wearing your dopamine receptors out when you're getting these hits, but you're like, nah, I need more. This is how you get burnt out. That's burnout. You know what I'm saying? From the dopamine hits to they're no longer insatiating, they're not substantial. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not working for you no more. You know, people go through that period when they watch too much short eye content. You know what the short eye content is, right? You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yeah, this thing, I can't get up for this. You know what I mean? Like, it's happening, and it's happening to younger people.
Overstimulation, and
right.
You know, they say moderation is key for everything in terms of consumption wise. Moderation.
You got access to unlimited access.
Well, speaking for somebody who goes into the gym, I always say that resistance is where the power is. So the fact that you're able to resist that which is unlimited actually builds the strength. It's giving into it that brings about the weakness. So you could place yourself in environments that is, you know, very tempting and whatnot and pulls on you, but your resistance is where the strength is built. That's where you show your mastery.
Absolutely. You know? You're absolutely right. You know what I mean? When I'm able to resist, and I know, you know, it'd be that temptation, it's that voice, and I'd be like, nah, son, I'm you know what I mean? I'm staying on business today.
It's gonna be a reward that comes with that too.
The reward comes. You know, when I sidestep trolling, anger, that's really one that I want to share. You know what I'm saying? Because I fell into it earlier this year, and it was one of the reasons that I needed to get more discipline. When you're able to sidestep anger, you know what I'm saying? And these days it comes by way of trolling, people baiting you and gaslighting. And if you be like, yo, I'm the, you know what I'm saying, the larger person in this particular situation, and I'm gonna sidestep that comes with a reward. So setting up, this new reward system, I just feel that we should balance our time on the internet at least out with an hour or two of physical fitness. And I'm not saying that you got to go in the gym and go Super Saiyan. That's not everybody. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not for everybody. That's not the calling. You could walk. You could do air squats. You could do push-ups. You could do, you know what I mean? Stretching, yoga. Anything that represents resistance, picking up the child. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a kettlebell, like whatever.
Right.
There's something that indicates that you can peel away from the screen enough to do physical activity where you can create an increase in your heart rate, you know, and you know, I would definitely recommend a level of resistance. Is just a challenge that, you know, every day you feel yourself getting a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's rewarding.
Yo, you had before we get out of here, I wanted to play you had mentioned Cambada. I was in New York about 4 days ago. I went to New York for a day, and I linked with Cambada. We was in the studio, right? And I had made a beat in the studio, and he had you know, he laid down the track. He named it Billy Barson. Instead of Billy Carr, it's Billy Barson.
Billy Barson.
I don't know if it's going. I'm gonna play just a quick snippet. I'm gonna play right.
I like that.
My background. Hold up. Let me know. Y'all hear that?
Yeah, my God, play that.
Jump, Got the gods excited as I'm strapped up in my captain's chair. Autopilot, spacecraft, I don't have to stare. It's called arriving. Pass through natural wear and crack the atmosphere. Your daddy's here. Them tinfoil hatters that were gathered there just clapped in chairs. Left the faculty of NASA scared. Donald Trump started acting weird. He just sat and stared. I hit up Billy Carson for a chat. We're galactic pairs. Grab the bear. Acid in a chalice full of dragon tears. Cone-headed, 12-foot giant with a gold melon. Native suit. Ants-eyed Christ that the Catholics fear. Universal soldier, the predator. I'm traveling the galaxy for challenges. You clash with me, I'll scrap you there. Warlord, I can smell the.
I'm gonna leave it there. But we gotta finish it up and everything. But it's Billy Barson. He got bars.
I can't hear. Send me an audio clip or something.
Okay, yeah, because I played it in the way I played it. It might have been hard to hear it. Was you able to hear that all, Red?
I did. I heard everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
The song is full of alien bars. That's why it's called Billy. It's straight alien. It's straight alien bars the whole song. So that's why it's called Billy Barson. But yeah, Cam Potter's a monster, man. So shout out to Cam Potter. But we was up all day doing that, laying that down. It was fire. Yo, let me show y'all something real quick. I don't know if I'm able to show y'all. So next year,
we're supposed to get in there, man.
No, trust me, I got y'all. It's been super busy, but look what I got. So so I'm gonna be making a lot of 432 hertz music next year, family.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Matter of fact, me, Red, and Blue, we're gonna make the official announcement soon. I gotta talk to them. We're coming up with a strictly music YouTube channel. And what's going on is that we went into the direction of consciousness. I've been a producer for a long time. Red was in the industry, Blue was in the industry, but you allow other people to have certain positions and curate our music, and they're doing an absolute horrible job doing it. And It's like we need people that of a certain frequency, of a certain high level, that's going to be reviewing music, that's going to be playing music, that's going to be premiering music. So it's time. This is our culture. We are the Rhythm Nation. We all over the planet, Black people, we are the Rhythm Nation. So we're definitely going into and music is the most spiritual thing in the world. So we're definitely taking back control over our sound. You know what I'm saying? All this talk about aliens, I guarantee you they listen to our Earth, Wind, and Fire. They love our music. They waiting for us to get back to that. But let me show you this. So I'll be making a lot of 432 hertz music. I got this right here. I just invested in this machine right here. This thing right here. Yo, when I tell y'all the sound is pure analog. A pure analog. No, this is the move, yo. Oh, let me wait. Oh, where's that? I can't. I don't know how to. I'm using my.
You're on your alchemist shit.
Pure analog signal, y'all. The 432 hertz. It sounds warm. Yo, family, wait till I tell y'all the sounds that's coming out this thing. The sounds, me and Red and Blue gonna be in the studio soon, but it's gonna be a very, very musical year for us next year. So I just want y'all to be on the lookout for that, y'all. But just like the 432 hertz, bringing back that sound, that DNA, shifting music, man. It's powerful, y'all.
Son, I'm gonna tell you immediately, if you haven't already, go see that Murder Mook Arsenal battle.
I ain't see it yet.
Harlem stand up. Bars is back, yo. I've been inspired as of lately. I was watching the Lux Rum Nitty earlier again, and it was hitting different this time on YouTube for some reason.
Yeah, I gotta see that.
I've been writing my stuff like battle raps. I got a poem for it's called The God Complex, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this because I was inspired. I got some Billy bars too. Okay.
All right.
The Pope oversees the coke, Allah sits over the dope, Selassie blesses the smoke, the goddess Sophia oversees pharmacopoeia, The prophets was all on narcotics, hallucinogens, adduced to them, the views that ended up in scripture. That becomes the picture. We construe through lens that's bigger than life itself. We threw out all rationale and reason and hammer down believing in all types of spells about a savior Christ that's supposed to fight for you when he couldn't fight for himself. To make it worse, this is misleading. If according to what I'm reading, Christ is in hell until he gains his freedom. Post-rapture, I have to ask you, make it make sense before they can make statements. I'm overcome by laughter. An actor's attempting to cast a cracker is anyone's master. You see how that could quickly become a disaster when hijackers mix water with plaster, create graven images for villagers to follow after, violating key chapters and factors of the commandments. Man got a hand in stirring the spot, stirring the plot. Revenge is a dish best served cold, but we over the stove serving it hot, like crack rock in the pot. Maybe I'm ill-advised and driving off psilocybin, listening to Phyllis Hyman. The pebble David used to slew Goliath was the size of the crack rock used to diffuse limb bias and plenty other giants. They ain't even half this much smoke for the defiant ones with the iron lungs. They kept all that hatred in for Canaan's kin, all because he saw a dying drunk and eyed his junk.
Ooh, bars.
Yeah, so
that hit harder because of your outfit. That hit harder.
Yeah, so
right.
Yeah, don't come to the Pope with none of that nonsense in 2025. Scimitar's, y'all, right? We ain't playing that. We way past it, and we not going back to it. You dig what I'm saying?
Y'all know how much fun we gonna have with the music channel between music reviews, premiere music, talking to new artists, poetry. I mean, everyday music. I'm gonna be throwing my beat making videos on there, y'all. So the channel's gonna be all types of things related to music. It'll be Blue Pills poetry. All types of stuff, Red Pill stuff, my beat.
It's a whole renaissance.
A whole musical renaissance. It's gonna be incredible, y'all. We taking this shit. I don't want to say it back, but we're because I don't even want to.
We're taking it forward. Let's say we're taking it forward. 2025 coming live. You know what I'm saying? If you made it here, you've survived. Now it's time to glide. This is when the phoenix rises from the ashes. Build and destroy. The 8 year was about breaking and burning stuff down. This is the ashes. The phoenix rises in 2025. All right. And I want to salute y'all and say thank you for this opportunity. This was well worth staying up past my bedtime. I feel amazing. I love this platform. I get excited when I'm on here doing this with y'all because this is what I love to do. You feel me?
I can't spit no bars. That's what he's doing.
Oh, Red, I gotta go, Red. I gotta go, man. Oh man, go ahead, Red.
Nah. We'll pick it back up.
Close it out.
Yeah, Red.
Bombs over Damascus on you bastards. When in Rome, Hova told you niggas to watch the throne. We told you niggas to watch the drones. War of the Worlds, they attacking Jersey. Lord have mercy. Got me drawing Finito on my jacket like I'm Jack Kirby. Getting sturdy, wearing backwards jerseys. In a timeline flying faster than Jackie Kersey. Game of Thrones, the Cerseis, they be acting thirsty. Like Kendrick, I'm up at 6 a.m. doing jumping jacks and burpees. They popping perkies. We sipping Seymour Slurpees and smoking on terpenes. Spicy, sour, sweet, and earthy. We moving shrooms through Gotham like we Oz Cobb. We the leaders of the black mob. That was my black job. We used to jack and rob. Now we cracking cards. What's bracking, God? Had my Harlem niggas like, whoa, you know the blackest Rob. This is all about respect and loyalty. Before you count my pockets, go and collect my royalties. Fuck a plug, my bloodline is the socket. I'm connected to royalty. The Phantom is all black. The matte black made back in the Phantom rap. The chick said he ate. We call that Phantom tax. Still tipping on 4/4s, dripping like candle wax. I don't know about you, but I can't go back. The way that he handle racks is giving Mansa Musa on camelbacks. I told you niggas that we can't go back. Let's go.
Oh, nah. Y'all got me hyped now. Oh, wait to this YouTube channel. Oh, my God. You know we're going to have poetry night. Yo, you know, I'm on poetry night. We bringing that to New Black Wall Street. There's going to be poetry night there. It's going, the music is never going to be the same 2025 moving forward, family. I'm telling you, there's a whole music
timeline.
This new timeline, parallel universes, parallel words. This is Brother Rich, aka Radiohead Rich, aka Father Rich, with Pope Pablo, aka Blue Pillar, aka Chef Pablo, aka what's the other aka?
Oh, Action Figure Blue. Right. Yeah.
Action Figure Blue.
With Red Pillar, aka Phil Rich, aka
Scorpion King. All day. All day.
Yo, we closing out the year, y'all.
Oh,
tomorrow, yeah, Red, good.
Nah, you got something tomorrow. Go ahead.
Oh, tomorrow, just want to let y'all know, come tomorrow. Tomorrow's Billy Costa is going to be on tomorrow. And Phil, we ended the year. No, Phil Valentine will be on Saturday. And I think I'm going to do one more year to end, one more show to end of the year. But it's Billy Costa tomorrow. So I know the trolls are going to be happy. And Phil Valentine's coming on Saturday, coming through on Saturday. So make sure y'all back here for the next 2 days.
Heavy hitters. Again, salute to the station, salute to the audience. I love y'all. It was an amazing year. You know what I'm saying? Triumphant. Hold your head high. You dig what I'm saying? We don't have nothing but celebratory energy to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? We did an amazing job of service this year to the people. An amazing job of service. And let's continue in this 9 year. And I look forward to it, y'all. Peace.
You already. On Monday, me and the brother Ross Ben, we're going to be doing the end of the year review, and he's going to be doing the forecast for 2025. Shout out to everybody that already got your ticket and whatnot. We look forward. And then the next day, we are going to be 488. Look at the numbers, 488 Edgewood Avenue, right around the corner from Martin Luther King. I Have a Dream. We're going to be doing the soft opening in Atlanta, 488 Edgewood. And then at night, we're going to be celebrating the new fiscal year, 2025, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. The dress code is fresh code. You know what I'm talking about? We'll have vendors in the building. We'll have food. We'll have drinks. We'll have music. We'll have entertainment. See y'all in the building.
Yes.
Peace, love, and light.
Peace, y'all. See you tomorrow. All right, Phillips, peace.
Peace.
Peace.